Good morning, all. Welcome to Laksha Academy YouTube channel. Okay, this is the part 5 of body fluids and their circulation. In the previous part, we learned some part of hemostasis. Hemostasis means blood clotting of blood. Okay, mechanism of blood clotting. The clotting takes place in three essential steps. This is the third step in the hemostasis. The first one is vasoconstriction. The second one is, what is the second one? What is the second step? The first step is blood vessel becomes narrow because of constriction of smooth muscle. That is called vasoconstriction. The second step is formation of fibrin. Sorry, platelet plug. Formation of platelet plug. That is the second step. The third step is mechanism of blood clotting. Look, the third step is formation of the clot fibrin network. How it is formed? Clotting takes place in three essential steps. Step 1, okay, it involves the formation of complex activated substances collectively called prothrombin activator. Okay, clotting takes place in three essential steps. The clotting of blood. Earlier we learned formation of platelet plug. Another one, vasoconstriction. The third step is clotting. How clotting takes place? Clotting mechanism, it is very complex. 13 factors, around 13 factors are involved in the formation of clot. Okay, step 1, we can divide this clotting mechanism into three steps. Step 1, it involves the formation of complex of activated substances. It involves the formation of a complex of activated substances collectively called prothrombin activator. What is that? Prothrombin activator. It is formed by a complex cascade of chemical reactions. How this prothrombin activator is formed? It is formed by a complex cascade of chemical reactions that occur in the blood. Okay, in that cascade of chemical reactions, okay, there is a involvement of clotting factors, okay, which occurs in two pathways. Okay, in the previous essay, okay, video also, in the previous part also, I explained you, okay, these factors. I also told you one trick how to memorize these clotting factors. These are very important for NEET exam. Okay, this is the list of clotting factors. Fibrinogen or fibrinogen, prothrombin tissue, thromboplastin, calcium factor. Foolish people. The trick is foolish people try climbing. Okay, foolish people try climbing. I write here. Foolish people try climbing long slopes after Christmas. Some people have fallen. Okay, foolish here, fibrinogen people. Thrombin, okay, the foolish people try tissue thromboplastin, climbing calcium, labile factor, long labile factor, slopes, stable factor. Okay, what is the next one? After Christmas, anti-hemophilic, the first letter here, anti-hemophilic factor, Christmas factor. Okay, Stewart Prover factor. Some people, plasma thromboplastin, plastin antecedent PTA. Next one is H, have, Hegeman's factor, and F, fibrin stabilizing factor. With this trick, you can remember all these 13 factors. 6th factor is not there. Pathways. There are two pathways in the step one. There are two pathways. One is intrinsic pathway. The other one is the extrinsic pathway. First, let us see what is intrinsic pathway. Okay, this topic you have to on this you have to pay a lot of attention on this topic. Otherwise, you cannot get it. You have to practice these equations. Okay, intrinsic pathway, it occurs when blood is exposed to collagen of injured. This is not injured. It occurs when blood is exposed to collagen of injured endothelium of blood vessel. Endothelium, yesterday I told you in the previous part, the inner, okay, the arteries and veins, the innermost layer, which is formed by simple epithelium, is called endothelium. When that endothelium is broken, collagen is exposed to the blood. Blood is exposed to collagen when there is an injury. Endothelium of blood vessel is injured. Okay, when this happens, this activates factor 12. Factor 12 means, can you tell me what is the factor 12 here? Heisman factor. Okay, this activates factor 12, and it in turn activates, and which activates yet another factor, which results in the formation of prothrombin activator. I will show you here. Intrinsic pathway I am explaining here. What is this pathway? Intrinsic pathway. Write down these notes. It is very important one. Intrinsic pathway I am starting here. Because of blood trauma, damage of tissues and broken down of platelets takes place. Damage of tissue and breakdown of platelets take place, and which activates 12th factor, Heisman factor. And okay, which this Heisman factor, in the presence of calcium ions, it activates factor 10th factor. 10th factor means Stewart Prover factor, SP factor here they written, and otherwise called thrombokinase. You can observe here Stewart Prover factor. It is also called a thrombokinase. A thrombokinase is formed. This is the intrinsic pathway. See again, intrinsic pathway low, there is a blood trauma and damage of tissue and breakdown of platelets. Platelets help in clotting of blood, and this activates the 12th Heisman's factor. This Heisman's factor, okay, in the presence of calcium ions, it activates factor 10. Factor 10 is Stewart Prover factor, also called a thrombokinase. Okay, next, after that, what happens here? There is a common pathway here, and then what happens is the activated 10th factor, that means Stewart Prover factor, and the activated 5th factor. What is the 5th factor? Labile factor. 5th factor is labile factor, or you can say accelerating, proaccelerating, we can also say. Okay, this factor, okay, the 5th factor, and platelet phospholipids, these are not given in our textbook. It is important one, and they all together there will be a formation of prothrombin activator or prothrombinase. Formation of prothrombin activator or prothrombinase. ఇదంతా మీ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ లో క్లియర్ గా ఇవ్వలేదు, ఇక్కడ క్లియర్ గా మెన్షన్ చేయడం జరిగింది. దీన్ని నోట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు నోట్ డౌన్ దిస్ వన్. Okay, I repeat again. Okay, this intrinsic pathway, it occurs when blood is exposed to collagen of injured endothelium of blood vessel. This activates factor 12. This activates factor 12, which in turn activates another factor, which in turn activates yet another factor, and finally what is formed? That is the matter here. Okay, this activates factor 12, and it in turn activates it active factor 12, and which in turn activates yet another factor. This factor is they did not mention here. Another factor, just they mentioned another clotting factor, which activates yet another factor, which activates yet another ఇంకొక factor activate చేస్తుంది, which results in the formation of finally what is formed is prothrombin activator is formed. Prothrombin activator or prothrombinase is formed. Come to the another pathway. Now I am going to explain you this pathway. This is called extrinsic pathway. Okay, in this extrinsic pathway, look what is happening here. This activates the release of okay, tissue thromboplast, and you can observe here tissue trauma. Okay, tissue trauma, damage to the tissue, here blood trauma and damage of blood vessel tissue releases a tissue factor. What is the tissue factor? Tissue thromboplastin. I will show you here. Tissue thromboplastin is a factor 3. It is a factor 3. Okay, tissue thromboplastin factor 3 in the presence of calcium ions. Calcium ions are very, very important for clotting. Which is a calcium ion is which factor? Calcium ions are fourth factor, very, very important. Calcium ions are required for clotting of blood. Calcium ions are required for the formation of teeth, bone. Calcium is required for the formation of milk. Calcium is important for muscle contraction. Calcium is important for blood clotting also. And calcium activates seventh factor. What is the seventh factor? Proconvertin, who the third one activating of calcium ions and activating seventh factor proconvertin. And in the presence of calcium ions, this proconvertin, and it is 10th factor. That means here two factors here activating this one. Here from the intrinsic pathway, 12th factor, Heisman factor, and from this side extrinsic pathway, 7th factor. Here for 10th, this is a Roman number 10, 1 is the Roman number 5, 1. Okay, they both are activating 10th factor or Stewart Prower factor or thrombokinase. Now this thrombokinase, okay, it activating the activated 10th factor, and the already fifth factor also activate the activated fifth factor, and together with platelet phospholipids in the presence of calcium ion. You can observe here calcium ion is participating in intrinsic pathway, calcium ion is involved in extrinsic pathway. Calcium ion, this is called common pathway. This is a common pathway. In this common pathway also it is involved. Okay, these 5 or 10th factor and 5th factor and PP platelet phospholipid, these all together, what are they are forming a prothrombin activator. Okay, here which results in the formation of prothrombin activator in which pathway? Intrinsic pathway. In extrinsic pathway also you can observe here. In extrinsic pathway also finally what is formed? Prothrombin activator. Okay, in the two pathways, okay, this is the intrinsic pathway and as well as an extrinsic pathway. Okay, here the activated release a tissue thromboplastin from the damaged tissue. It occurs when the vascular wall, blood vessel wall is severely damaged and extravascular tissue comes in contact with blood. Okay, because of this, it activates factor 7. It activates factor 7. Okay, this activates factor 7, and as a result of cascade reactions, final product is the prothrombin activator. Final product. Okay, this is all of chain of waterfall reaction, cascade reactions. Cascade reactions, the for example, okay, this reaction depends on this reaction. If this reaction preceding this reaction does not occur, this is not okay. This reaction does not take place. Okay, for to form this compound, these reactions must occur. Okay, that means okay, in cascade reactions, each reaction depends on the preceding previous reaction. Okay, this is a waterfall. Cascade means waterfall. Okay, one reaction taking place after the another one. Okay, at the end of this one, at the end of extrinsic pathway and common pathway, what is finally the product here is the prothrombin activator. Now we are coming to the step 2. Step 2. Step 2 in the mechanism of clotting of blood. Formation of thrombin. Okay, what is formed in our step 1? Prothrombin activator. The prothrombin activator in the presence of calcium ions, it converts prothrombin into thrombin. Prothrombin, inactive protein in the plasma. It is the active protein. Now the pro means inactive. You learned earlier prorenin. Prorenin. Renin is active form, prorenin is inactive. Prothrombin, it is inactive. Now it is active protein thrombin. This is the second step. In the second step, what is formed ultimately here? Thrombin is formed. The active protein thrombin is formed. Step 3. Now the thrombin converts the soluble protein fibrinogen into soluble fibrin monomers. Fibrin monomers, which are held together by weak hydrogen bonds. You can observe here now the thrombin. This is the step 3, formation of fibrin. Okay, fibrinogen, ogen means inactive. Okay, earlier you learned pepsinogen in first class and digestion absorption. Pepsinogen is inactive. Okay, the fibrinogen, which is the factor 1, which is inactive, which is soluble protein. Now it is converted to fibrin by which one? By thrombin, which is formed in the step 2. Okay, fibrin. Okay, fibrin is active. Okay, it is inactive. Fibrin is active. Fibrinogen, fibrin. Okay, pepsinogen, pepsin is active. Pepsinogen is inactive. Fibrinogen is inactive. Fibrin is active. And soluble, this is also soluble. It is monomers are formed. Okay, for example, this is one monomer, this is one monomer, this is one monomer, like that monomers are formed. And fibrin threads form a weak fibrin net with hydrogen bonds. Okay, next what happens, see here. Okay, which are held together by weak hydrogen bonds. The fibrin stabilizing factor, which is the factor, last factor. Okay, the factor, okay, this is the fibrin stabilizing factor. This is the 13th factor, not the 12th one. Okay, this is the 13th factor. 13 not here. Okay, this is a 13th factor. You can observe in this table. Okay, this is the 13th factor. The 13th factor is the fibrin stabilizing factor. What is the function of this factor? The fibrin stabilizing factor, factor 13, released from the platelets. It is released from platelets, replaces hydrogen bonds. Here, which bonds are present now? Hydrogen bonds are present where? Between the fibrin fibers. Okay, hydrogen bonds with which are replaced with covalent bonds. You might have learned in chemistry, and cross links the fibers to form a meshwork, and cross links the fiber to form one network is formed here, and form a network, and form a one network is formed here. Mesh like we keep in windows. Okay, here what is happening? The active soluble fibrin weak and fibrin net. Okay, with the help of factor 13, fibrin stabilizing factor, hydrogen bonds are replaced by covalent bonds. Hydrogen bonds are here weak. Hydrogen bonds are replaced by covalent bond. Now it is active. Okay, now it is active, insoluble, strong fibrin net. Here it is active, soluble. Here it is active, soluble, but it is active, insoluble, strong. Here it is weak. Here it is weak. This, but now it has become, this meshwork has become very strong because of presence of replacement of hydrogen bonds with covalent bonds. Active, insoluble, strong fibrin net formed at the place of bleeding. It is formed at the place of bleeding. Okay, this is, you can observe here, this network here, insoluble fibrin net entangle the blood cells and form the clot. You can observe here fibrinogen converted to fibrin by thrombin. Here fibrin mesh is formed, and then cross-linked fibrin mesh, because of covalent bonds are formed. Okay, finally one, okay, we get a one meshwork in which blood cells are entangled. This is a clot. In this way clot is formed. Okay, this is very complex process. Our body has wonderful mechanism. Okay, in this way 13 factors, okay, sixth one is removed. Okay, here blood cells are trapped in here. Imagine this is a net in which birds are trapped. Okay, this is the fibrin network, fibrin mesh. Okay, mosquitoes are trapped, or mosquitoes cannot enter, okay, through the mesh. Like that, blood cells cannot go outside, out of your body through this one. The insoluble meshwork of fibrin fibers spreading in all directions, adhering to the damaged surface, and trap the blood cells and platelets. Okay, that's the entire process, the entire mechanism of clotting of blood, how that clot fibrin meshwork is formed. Okay, therefore మన బాడీలోంచి బ్లడ్ బయటికి వెళ్ళకుండా స్టాప్ చేయబడుతుంది. Okay, after that one there will be clot retraction. I will explain this one in the next part. What we have learned, let us summarize what we have learned here. Okay, we started mechanism of blood clotting. Clotting takes place in three essential steps. Step one. Okay, in step one, okay, there are two pathways: are there, extrinsic pathway and intrinsic pathway. It involves the formation of complex of activated substances, collectively called prothrombin activator. It is formed by a complex cascade of chemical reactions. This prothrombin activator is formed by a complex. There are so many reactions. That's why they're using the term complex. All reactions are involved there. Okay, it involves the, okay, formation of a complex of activated substances collectively called prothrombin activity. It is formed by complex cascade of reactions that occur in blood by the involvement of clotting factors in two pathways. What these are the clotting factors? You have to learn these. And two pathways are intrinsic pathway. The other pathway is the extrinsic pathway. What are the two pathways? Intrinsic pathway and extrinsic pathway. This intrinsic pathway, it occurs when blood is exposed to collagen of injured endothelium of blood vessel. When blood is exposed to, for example, this is the blood vessel. Okay, here injured blood vessel. This is the injured blood vessel. Okay, here there is a collagen, for example. When blood is exposed to this collagen, this mechanism is initiated. This activates factor 12 is activated, which in turn activates yet another factor. Factor 12 is which activates yet another factor. And finally, what is formed? Prothrombin activator is formed. Prothrombin activator is formed. Prothrombin activator. Next, come to the extrinsic pathway. It activates the release. This activates the release of tissue thromboplastin. You can observe here tissue thromboplastin is released here. And next one, it occurs when vascular wall is severely damaged and extravascular tissue comes in contact. And when our blood vessel is severely damaged, when our blood comes in contact with the extravascular tissue, that means మన blood vessel ki బయట ఉన్న tissue ki మన blood expose అయినప్పుడు, look, it activates the factor 7. You can observe here it activates factor 7. This factor 3 activating the factor 7. As a result of these cascade reactions, the final product is thrombin activator is formed. Prothrombin activator. This is the result, final result. Step 2, the prothrombin activator. The prothrombin activator, that means this is the entire mechanism. This is the step 1. This is the step 1. Okay, next one, step 2. The prothrombin activator in the presence of sufficient amount of calcium ions causes the conversion of inactive prothrombin to active thrombin. Okay, active, you can observe this one. Okay, prothrombin, inactive one, converted to thrombin by the prothrombin activator, formed in the, this is formed in the step 1. It is formed in step 1. Okay, that's why if step 1 does not occur, this prothrombin is not converted to thrombin. It is given in NCRT also. And step 3, prothrombin converts the soluble protein fibrin to soluble. You can observe here fibrinogen is converted to fibrin, active soluble monomers. And here weak hydrogen bonds, those weak hydrogen bonds are replaced with the covalent bonds. Finally, what is formed is insoluble fibrin network, okay, which entangle the blood cells and form the clot. Okay, that's the end of this topic, clot mechanism. Next one, okay, remaining topic, clot retraction. What is, how clot retraction takes place? What is the next one? Importance of platelets and anticoagulants. What are the various substances we learn in the next part?